Hey there, James here, and welcome to another one of my videos. Now, learning licks. This is one thing that guitar players talk about a lot. Learning short sort of licks can really help build up our soloing vocabulary, and it's a tried and tested way because it shows us ideas and phrases which we can begin to use in our own solos. The problem is, I hear time and time again from people I teach, is that they can't remember these licks. They're spending a bit of time each day learning them, but when they come back to them the next day in their practice, their mind's gone blank and they can't remember it. So this is a really common problem, and I'm sure you've probably been there. I certainly know that I've been there, but what I know now is I can learn a lick in a fraction of the time it used to take me using a couple of these simple tips I'm going to share with you in this lesson. So these tips I'm going to tell you are going to save you a lot of practice time, a lot of frustration, and it's going to mean that you can start to build up your lead guitar skills more quickly. So stick around because they're really simple to use and they're really going to help you. Now these tips and a lot more are covered in my recent book, the Guitar Practice Workbook. I think this is kind of the ultimate practice guide for today's guitar player. It's got a whole bunch of tips on things like how to learn a chord quickly, how to memorize a scale quickly, how to become a better improviser, how to speed up a lick, how to structure a practice routine, all sorts of really important stuff. And there's also a lot of blank stuff in there for you to write out your own lick ideas and song ideas, all kinds of things. So check that out on Amazon, see what other players are saying about it. I think it's something which could really help you if you think you need to double down and start using your practice time a bit more efficiently. Now, I've just selected this kind of blues lick from one of my solos, which I'm going to play for you. So this is a lick we're going to be using for this example, but of course, this can be used for any lick. Here's what we're going to be using in this lesson. So that's the lick example we're going to be using here. It doesn't matter whether you like this lick or not, it's more about the tips I'm going to share. So let's look at our first tip. Break the lick up into small chunks of about 4 or 5 notes. So really with this particular lick, I think the first chunk wants to be this part. The second part I would take is this phrase. You can see how much easier it's going to be to learn that than it is to learn them both joined together. The third chunk of this particular lick would be this repeating phrase here. So you can take that lick, break it up into 3 parts, and that's really going to help give you smaller chunks to work with as we move through the rest of these tips. Now what most players do is they play the lick round and round, playing it differently every time, expecting to remember it. We need to be really consistent when we do this. We need to play it the same way every time. And one of the best ways to do that is to try and capture the sound of the lick in our memory so that every time we play it, we're playing it with the same rhythm, the same timing, and all that kind of thing. And one of the best ways to do this is to learn to sing the lick. Sounds a bit daft, but if you can sing that lick and you can sing it round and round and make it the way it's supposed to sound, it makes sense that you've got the rhythm and the phrasing of that lick. It's going to be much easier to duplicate it on the guitar. So what you need to do for this is take the first part of your lick that you've broken up and either play it on the guitar if you can play it, get the sound of it in your ears. Alternatively, listen to that section on the recording or watch that section of the video or wherever you're learning that lick from and capture it in your memory. When you've got that, sing it round 10 or 12 times. Ba, 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 ba. You don't have to have an amazing voice. Ba, 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 ba. I certainly haven't, and I still use this to help me speed up learning licks. Okay, so tip number 2 is learn to sing the lick. If you're not doing this already, try it. It's really going to help you. The third tip is to visualize yourself playing it. So we've broken the lick up, we've captured the sound of it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look down at our fretboard and we're going to imagine playing it with our fingers and hearing it, hearing the sound of it as we do it. So I'm kind of looking down at the fretboard now and I'm saying ba, 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 and I'm kind of imagining seeing my fingers playing the lick. So I'm kind of programming my fingers where to go in advance of actually learning the lick, So I need to roughly know where my fingers are going at this point. So use a tab or whatever to help you with that. But rather than looping it round, do this step first. Start imagining you can see your fingers where they're going. What you're kind of doing is almost like putting direction into a sat nav or something, telling them where you want to go in advance. Your fingers are going to start to go there. So you got the sound of the lick. You're programming your fingers where to go. That's tip 3. Visualize yourself playing the lick a few times on the guitar before you try playing it. So this has all helped teach you the lick, so then it's time to actually play it on the guitar. Take the lick and slowly loop it round and round, keeping the rhythm and everything the same as when you sung it. Then of course you're going to need to go and do that for each of the remaining chunks of your lick. In this lick we have 3 of them, so I would take the second chunk, I would roughly learn how to play it, I would learn to sing it, I would imagine myself playing on the guitar, and then I would play it. And then do the same for the third chunk. Then it comes to joining them together, and here's a really valuable tip for you here, is when you've got all 3 chunks of the lick learned, then you can follow this process with each of them. So learn to sing the whole lick. Sing along with the recording, get the sound of the whole lick in your ears. This is really important because it's easy to not leave the right amount of time between each chunk. Often people rush the spaces between the parts of a lick. So if you can sing and hear how they all fit together, you're going to be able to play them much better on the guitar. You could also visualize your fingers on the guitar playing the whole lick, and it's all going to work in the same way, putting the whole lick together, just like it helped you learn the lick when we broke up into tiny fragments. So that's about all for this lesson today, and I would, this seems a bit labor intensive maybe, but do give it a try because I've showed this to a lot of people and it's really helped them learn licks more quickly, get them in their playing and help them become better lead guitarists. Remember to check out the Guitar Practice Workbook. You'll find a link to that underneath this video. You can click through, check out what guitar players are saying about it. Loads of stuff in here to really help you make the most of your practice time. Other than that, thanks a lot for watching. Look out for some more tips videos like this coming very soon. We're going to be looking at how to learn chords more easily, how to learn scales more easily, tips for improvising, all sorts of good stuff. So look out for that coming very soon, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss them. Other than that, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.